A lot of people have been saying that they've noticed their PS5 Pro is louder in general when playing most types of games than the base PS5 was, which seems a bit wrong to a lot of people because it's a more powerful machine. Therefore, surely it should be running those games easier, therefore quieter. Other people have said that their PS5 Pro is really quiet. So I'm going to do an experiment here. I've got a launch model PS5 base model. I've got one that I bought a few years later, but still the base model, and I've got a PS5 Pro. So I'm going to do a test on a mid-level game, a low-level game, and a high-level game on all of them while recording the sound volumes. Now, the microphone is going to be right at the back of the consoles for each of these, just like a 3 finger width apart. So it's going to be equal in all instances, but it is a slightly exaggerated experiment. What you're going to hear through the microphone isn't going to be as loud as it is in real life. It's just to give you an idea of the comparative volumes of each console. Right, just for those who like to know the model number of these various consoles, this is the launch day base model, and zoom in a bit nearer, and the model number of this one is CFI 1016A. The model number of the much newer base model is CFI 1216A, and the model number of my Pro is CFI 7021. Okay, so let's fire up the PS5 Pro, and remember this is a exaggerated experiment because of where the microphone is. Well, on the startup sequence, it dipped into the low 40s, but then dropped down again into the 30s. So let's fire up a game. We'll start with the low level game, a Luna, and I've got game boost off for this. So there's no PS Pro enhancement going on with the game boost or anything like that. This is as kind of basic as it can be in a way. And as you can see, a basic PS4 game, not doing anything in the game, we're just sitting there, so it's like really low level intensity, has still caused the Pro fan to be audible. And I'm only about a foot away from the machine, but even when I'm sitting in my normal place, I can still hear it. It's not mega loud, it's not that off-putting, it's just a bit strange when you're so used to the absolute silence of the base PS5. Right, let's now fire up Gems of War. So as you can see there, Gems of War on the PS5 Pro going into the high 40s. Now this is F124 on the PS5 Pro. This is in quality mode, so you've got 3 types of ray tracing on at the same time, so you have to bear that in mind. But let's see what it does. So that was a PS5 Pro, but in quality mode, so with 3 types of ray tracing. And now we're going to change it to performance mode, where it will run at 120 frames a second. Expecting a little bit more noise from this, but I still find it a bit odd that it was actually technically quieter than running a basic PS4 game. So as you should be able to hear, there is a little bit of that coiled whine, that electric sort of buzzy sound coming from the PS5 Pro at certain moments on this. So yeah, so that's pretty good. You've got to remember that this is a exaggerated demonstration basically. That's like what you're hearing when you hear these sounds, these fan noises, these electrical buzzy coil whine sounds. It is with the microphone pretty much right at the back of the console, so it is going to be a lot louder than what you experience in real life. But it does give you an idea of just the comparative volumes that each console gives off noise-wise. What's noticeable on this game as well is the electrical coil whine noise. If you go back to the PlayStation menu, it disappears. If you come back to this game, it comes on again. I mean, it's not much, it's not that distracting, but it is there. Right, so we go again. This is now the base PS5 still, but the newer model that I had starting up. This is A Luna, a basic PS4 game. Well, so as you can hear, the fan has come on this base PS5, the newer version. Going into the high 40s. Right, this is now Gems of War, a PS4 game on the base PS5, but the newer version. Let's do a quick battle. So again, high 40s for that game. So going into the high 40s again. That's the PS5 base model, but the newer version. And same as before, when we're in the pause menu, you get a little bit of that coil whine in the background. If you go to the PlayStation home screen, it disappears. Right, so now the launch day version of the PS5 base model. Literally zero fan noise on booting up, so let's start with that basic game we had before, the A Luna PS4 game. a very, very small amount of fan noise. It's barely audible when I'm pretty much on top of the PS5. If I was sitting where I usually sit, I don't think I'd notice that at all. It's now Gems of War on the base PS5 launch model. Right, so again, very, very quiet indeed. Just the very slightest fan sound I can hear, but I'm literally sitting right on top of the PlayStation 5 right now. I'm literally kind of peering right over it. If I was sitting where I sat normally, I don't think I would hear a thing. So this is F124 on the launch day PS5. We are in performance mode at the moment, so this is doing the 120 frames a second, so probably going to be its loudest, so let's just check for that when we start a game. Again, you can probably hear that electric buzzing coil whine noise. So yeah, a little bit of that coil whine noise, but other than that, hardly any fan noise whatsoever. What's interesting is you get more of that electric buzzing coil whine sound, or whatever it is, when you're in the pause menu. And again, if we go back to the PlayStation home screen, it disappears. So what to make of that? Well, it's hard to say really, because some people have said that their PS5 Pro makes no noise whatsoever when playing games, but it does depend upon the environment. If you've got it in an entertainment unit with the drawers closed, things like that, you're probably not going to hear it. If you do something like that, but obviously make sure you've got airflow at the back of the unit to help cooling and things like that. My PS5 Pro is exposed. It's in a entertainment unit front facing, just 6 feet away from me, I suppose. So fan noise, I can hear it from there, but other people are saying the same kind of thing. But what did surprise me was that the fan noise come on the most basic PS4 game with game boost turned off. Maybe Sony are playing it safe on the cooling. They've obviously got data and numbers on the other PS5s on what caused maybe certain issues because machines were running hotter than usual, and then maybe they're just making sure this Pro stays nice and cool under all circumstances. But there it is. Let me know what you think about this in the comments and how your PS Pro runs compared to what you saw here and compared to the base models. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.